everyone. This is Julie McDonald, Technologies, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending today's webinar with Family Zone. Today's host is Paul Robinson, Vice President of Technology Services. He'll be presenting today, and if anyone has any questions, please feel free to submit them in the question box, and Paul will answer them at the end of today's presentation. Thank you very much, Paul, for being with us today. I am finished for now. The floor is now yours.
Great, thank you, Julie, and thank you to everyone who has come along today. What I'm going to be talking about is Family Zone and give you all an introduction to Family Zone, as well as talk a little bit about the problems that Family Zone attempts to solve. And to put it in context, I'm hoping that some of the questions that your customers might be asking, or if you're hearing some of these problems, then Family Zone potentially is a solution to that. We are a company that has recently launched in the US and are now working with Microcom as our partner for distribution. Okay, so jumping straight into it, one of the reasons we created the Family Zone is there's just a whole new world of challenges for parents. What we had as kids is very different to what parents have now, and dealing with kids that are growing up in the digital age. And what are parents worried about? Parents are worried about what their kids are doing online. We've done a lot of studies. We've leveraged a lot of research that's out there, and even more recently, as we all probably have heard in the mainstream media, two of the largest Apple shareholders are demanding Apple try and do something to address the needs of parents, trying to manage their kids and their device usage. So parents are worried about what their kids are doing. We know that. We did some research and we've found that at least 90% of teen boys have watched or seen or been exposed to porn, and 60% of girls has. Now, that's not necessarily means that they're out there looking for it. It's just there, and it can be discovered very, very easily, as we all know. Another scary statistic is teen girls, as a result of this, they feel the pressure. 81% feel the pressure to interact with boys and their peers, and the pressure to use sexting and send images of themselves, etc., is frighteningly high. The other problem that parents have is the amount of time that kids are spending on their screens, and there's a few problems as a result of that. I mean, one, for anyone who does have kids, and the challenge with raising kids in this age, and with kids that have had screens or mobile devices from an early age, is trying to get those to manage the usage of those devices. And when it does come time to turn those screens off, we often end up in arguments. We often end up with kids that are very unhappy and parents that are very unhappy. But I guess as some statistics, teens will typically spend at least 4 hours per day, and that's an average. So there's situations where teens are spending a lot more time online than that 4 hours. And as a result, we're certainly seeing a lot of teens, and a high percentage of teens having problems sleeping. So the flashing blue light when they should be asleep is keeping them up, because they're worried if they're going to miss out on something. And I guess that leads into social media, and obviously the kids, whether they're teens or preteens, are using tools like Snapchat. They're using Instagram. They're using Discord for video. They're using a lot of different tools that go way beyond what a typical parents are using. And as a result of that, there's a lot of kids are already being exposed to cyberbullying. There's a lot of pressure to conform. There's a lot of pressure for kids to remain popular online, I suppose, and one of the challenges there is having to constantly be connected. So it's a really difficult time for parents. Okay, so what we did was, the intent of the Family Zone was to create a solution for families. It wasn't a hardware solution, it wasn't a software solution. It was about, okay, what do we need
Paul, I think audio dropped. Can you double check on your end? Your microphone, perhaps?
Running a Windows device or a Mac device, a Linux device, Android or iOS, it was supposed to be a solution that would just work for all families. So we took an approach. I mean, we're all parents ourselves. The people who founded the business we're worried about what they were looking at online. We're worried about when they were doing searches for say a new map on Minecraft. We're worried about what they would stumble across. We're worried that there was adult content being pushed out. Not on purpose, but adult content being pushed out to our kids, and it just wasn't appropriate. And as I say to my sons, you can't unsee it and you can't unhear it. So it's really, we felt it really important to block as much of the bad stuff as we can, but still allow obviously all the good stuff. We wanted to manage the amount of time that they're spending online. So with moderation, the internet's a great tool, and we're certainly looking at an innovative way to control when kids were able to use the internet, when they're able to use their devices, and as I said, Family Zone being the solution for families very much run on a routine, so that's essentially what we've been able to do. We're worried about the social media aspect and the different apps that kids were often using. We're worried that it's impossible to keep up with all of the new apps. As soon as Snapchat becomes not the most popular, there's another one straight after, a house party or something similar. So we wanted to be able to control and manage that. As I said, we wanted to work everywhere. We wanted to work on every device, and we wanted it to work at home. We wanted it to work mobile. We wanted it to work if you were traveling overseas. It was also, we really wanted to provide the ability to give parents the tools to parent. We don't want to be the parent to the kids. We're really just providing the tools and the services that a parent needs to have the conversations with their kids and to get an understanding of what they are doing online and why they need to do it online. Have the conversation. So don't find out that your kid's been using Snapchat for the last 12 months and they've now got a problem. Have the conversation with them about it before they install it and before they start using it. And we also wanted to provide the ability for families who are often very every family is different, as we know, and we wanted to provide the ability for a family to set themselves up to represent their own family. So a family may have a 5-year-old and a 16-year-old. The usage of the internet and devices is very different between a 5 and a 16-year-old. So what our solution enables is the ability for a parent to create profiles for each individual kid. So what we've done with Microcom, which hopefully benefit Microcom's customers, is we've got 2 offers that are available. So we have a home access point or a router that is a really affordable, dual band gigabit 1200 AC access point. As you can read there, what we've done is you can sell that individually to a customer, and they can then go through and sign up with a subscription with the Family Zone. Or what we've done, which I think is a far more convenient method, is we've bundled in the Family Zone box and a 12-month subscription as well, which offers a customer quite a significant discount. And what that enables the customer to do is they can take that box home, they can plug that box into their existing router. It's going to present to them a safe family network that they can then go through and connect up all of their kids' devices. Now, this does work on any IP-enabled device. So one of the most common use cases now is people are connecting their gaming consoles, and parents are connecting their gaming consoles to the Family Zone so that they can moderate when the consoles are being used. Again, it's about having visibility and control over what kids are doing and when they're doing it. So it's providing that level of comfort, I guess, around, okay, well, I know my kids aren't getting up at 4 a.m. to start playing on the PlayStation because essentially the internet's not going to work, so they're not going to be able to use that device until I've said that they can use it, or the system has allowed them to use it. Okay, so just a little bit about the Family Zone before we get into the features. So we are a global business. We're a relatively new business. We launched in 2016. We are, as you can probably hear from my accent, I am originally Australian, but now based in the US, and we're aggressively rolling and promoting Family Zone into the US market, as well as up through Asia, India, etc. So we do have a lot of people using the platform now. We do have a number of very successful partners, particularly up in the proximity to Australia. Obviously, makes Asia a very compelling place to visit. So Telkomsel, which is a huge carrier out of Indonesia, they have somewhere in the order of about 180 million subscribers. They're now promoting and selling Family Zone to their customer base. So we are we're going to be here for a while. As I said, we're only recently launching into the US, so I wouldn't be surprised if you've never heard of us, and hopefully that will change. So more about our solution. What we've done is, as I said, we wanted a solution for families. We wanted a solution that would protect kids wherever they were. So we've divided our product into four unique areas. We protect the home, and that's why you have that home access point. We protect the kids also when they're mobile. So we have a product called Mobile Zone, which enables a parent to install the Mobile Zone agent onto their kid's device, so that when they leave the home network, they're getting the same level of safety as what they would when they're at home. We also have a schools product as well. So one of the things we learned very early on is that devices, and particularly BYOD devices that are used through school or provided by a school, need to have protection on them and need to have cyber safety on them, but they need to be able to work with the school's filtering system or the school's policy. So what we also have is a school-based solution that a school can either deploy, or we can either work with existing school filtering solutions as well. So our technology has the ability to hand over, if you like, the responsibility of that cyber safety, either based on time or based on other parameters that we work with the schools on. Overarching all of that, we were all technology guys. We had backgrounds in the telco industry. We had a number of us have worked with ISPs, etc., etc. But what we realized very quickly was, we're technology guys. We understood the problem, but we didn't know how to promote the solutions to the parents and understand really the actual challenges that parents were having. So we engaged with a team of cyber safety experts, and these cyber safety experts are often people that they're either ex-teachers or they are teachers who have an interest in cyber safety. We've got quite a lot of child psychologists that are out talking with schools, talking to parents about what makes what are the things that parents need to be aware of, but then also working with the kids as well and teaching them about good online behaviours. So what our platform actually enables is for those cyber experts to develop profiles and develop policies that a parent can choose to use. So rather than a technology company like Family Zone or a product company like Family Zone telling a parent, this is how you should be using and setting up your home, our cyber safety experts are doing that for them. So it's really like a partnership between the cyber safety expert and the parent, which is really innovative. No one else is doing that. Okay. Simplicity was always the key thing. We always thought that it would be a very reactive purchase to buy the Family Zone. So a parent would have a problem at home and they need to solve it straight away. So as our product evolved, we moved into a very simple wizard-driven process to get your family set up. What we have to do that as well is we can do that obviously just via a normal web browser, but we also have a native app that the parents can download either on iOS or Android, and then they can use that to go through the guided setup process. what a parent's able to do is they're able to configure each family member and each kid in their family. They can also set up age-based profiles as well, which I mentioned earlier on. So by entering the kid's date of birth, we're able to work out, well, we think that they're probably best suited to this type of profile based on what we know and what our research suggests. Parents can always override that. We can also set different bedtimes for the different kids. Obviously, a teen is going to go to bed a lot later than a toddler, if we're setting up toddlers in the system as well. So having different bedtimes and predictable bedtimes is a really important feature that parents love. My apologies. It's just bear with me as my slide deck catches up. Okay, so we mentioned. My apologies again. Okay, so hopefully this will stay on the slide. Okay, so one of the things that again, when we first got into this, we'd often ask parents, okay, so all you need to do is just log onto your router and disable the Wi-Fi network. And most parents, they had it originally. Well, most families had set their router up and they hadn't looked at it for 2 or 3 years. So it was very clear to us that we needed to make the home networking side of things really, really easy to set up. So as a parent, you plug the box in. It will take you through a guided setup process. We're able to set up to 3 networks, so we can set up a family network, which is what the kids' devices connect to, and consoles, etc. There is a guest Wi-Fi network as well that you can turn on or off, and also an unfiltered, or I guess we call it sometimes the parent network. So, but the unfiltered network could be used for things, IoT type things that don't necessarily need to have the filtering on. As kids. And as a parent, as you connect those devices through to the family network, the parent's going to start getting notifications that, hey, I can see that this device is connected to the family network. Whose device is it? And then you can assign that device to that specific user. We have built it in a way to make it work for shared devices, where there's one iPad that's being used across multiple kids, so they quite simply can just borrow the device and then their profile takes effect. So as far as setting up the device as well, so when the parent wants to enable the mobile zone protection, and just to confirm as well, so a parent who buys the Family Zone box and the subscription can install a Mobile Zone app on up to 6 devices in the home. But you don't need the Mobile Zone app running on the device at home if the device never leaves that network. The Mobile Zone app is designed to protect when it leaves that safe family network. But as far as setting it up, it's super simple. The parent just grabs either the Apple or Android device, goes to the Play or the App Store, downloads, installs, registers, and then that device is now protected. One of the great things about putting the Mobile Zone though on the device is you immediately get a list of all of the apps that are installed. And as I mentioned before, we have the cyber experts, and our cyber experts have done reviews on a lot of the most popular apps. So if you're subscribed to a cyber expert, you'll get their review and you'll get their opinion on those apps and what's safe and appropriate use of them. Screen time is a huge part of everyday life now. As adults, we probably overuse our screens, and we have heard some parents using the Family Zone to manage their own screen time, which is really interesting. So, as parents, what you're able to do is you can set up different routines for different profiles of kids. So, again, we built the platform to work in the real world. So kids sleep, obviously. Kids go to school. Kids have some playtime or some relaxed time. What they should be using the internet during school time is different to what they should be using at playtime. So we can, for example, in the platform allow Snapchat during playtime but block it during school time. And again, this is where the profiles are based on, I guess what either the cyber expert or as the parent can do it themselves as well. So being able to control access to which apps they can use or which games they can use is a really valuable feature. One of the benefits of the platform as well is it's very easy for a parent to override or have exceptions. The most common being it could be a Saturday night. There's family and friends have got together. The kids are playing an online game. The playtime ends at 7 p.m. The parents can quickly just extend that time. They can do that all through their parent app that they've installed on their phone. Being able to manage it's not necessarily social media, but it's all of the apps that are associated with connecting people. And you can see on this screenshot here, we've highlighted a couple. I mean, Facebook, as we all know, is not necessarily used by kids, but certainly there's some apps out there. Instagram's widely used, Snapchat, AskFM, Kik, and there's some really dangerous apps, Lively, Musically, that without proper moderation and without proper control can very quickly get out of hand. So what Family Zone enables you to do, again, it's not saying you're banned from using these apps. We're saying, well, you can use those apps, but we don't want them using when you're asleep. We don't want to use them at school, but I'm happy for you to use them during your playtime or relaxed time. So being able to provide that fine-grained, if you like, control for the parent is really beneficial. A really great feature. As we all know, with technology, nothing is foolproof, and Family Zone, we're constantly working to make things more reliable, and we're constantly working to make things harder for the kids to work around. But we are fully aware that a kid who has the mobile zone installed, for example, could find a way to work out how to remove the mobile zone or bypass the VPN or bypass the filtering. So what we've implemented is alerts and consequences. So we learned very early on that that's what kids are going to do. And if anyone's worked in the technology space and worked in schools, it's very hostile environments. Far different to sort of the corporate world. So what we implemented was alerts and consequences. So if a kid has removed the app, there can be consequences. The parents firstly are going to get alerted, and that's really important, because then it can create that opportunity to have the conversations like, well, why did you remove it? What were you trying to do? Is there something wrong? But then we can also implement consequences. So if for example, they remove the mobile zone or it's tampered with, we can disable all of their apps for a period in time. So again, configurable by the parent, profile driven by the cyber expert, but we can implement consequences and provide the parent with weekly email reports or daily reports on what their app usage is. For the kids, there is a mobile zone app that they'll have installed on their devices. Also available if they're using a desktop computer or a laptop as well. And what that enables them to do is they can speak to their parents through the app for changes that are needed. So they might need to access something for school that's being blocked for whatever reason. They can request that the parent allow access to that. They can request extra time. They can, as I mentioned, I could pick up my brother's iPad and I could start. And I could, maybe blocked because it's designed for a 6-year-old. I can borrow that device, and then that will take over. It will use my profile, and I'll get my own browsing experience. So there's limited functionality for what the kids can do, but it's exactly what they need to. I need to be able to access a site. I need extra time, or I need to take ownership of this device. So that's the Family Zone in a nutshell. I guess we often talk about elevator pitch, and I am at the CES this week, so if anyone is in the audience and is at CES as well, and want to meet up, more than happy to do so. But the elevator pitch that we use when we're talking to our customers is exactly what we're reading there. So it's giving parents an affordable peace of mind by providing that visibility and control of their kids' internet activities on any device across any network. So whether they're at home, they're mobile, they're at a friend's house, they're on the LTE network, or they're on a Starbucks Wi-Fi or a McDonald's Wi-Fi, it's giving parents that peace of mind and at a very affordable price. So thank you for your time. That is it, and at least 5 minutes for questions. Julie, I'll make you the presenter.
Thank you very much, Paul. I appreciate that wonderful presentation, and it looks like I do have some questions for you. It might go a little over 5 minutes. First question here is, let's see, can a parent add another section of time allotted to the child? For example, if there was a list of chores that you wanted your child to complete, could it add another, 10 minutes or so?
You can, yes, because you can override. Yeah, you can. So how I use it at home is I'll put their device to sleep and put it into sleep mode, and when they've finished their chores, then I can turn it back on again. We can override those policies. What we are working on, and hopefully in the very near future, is having a rewards-based system as well, so that kids can earn time on the internet.
Thank you very much. Next question. If a family goes on vacation, will it work while you're away from your home, or what would you suggest?
Yes, it will. So on the kids' mobile devices, as long as they've got the mobile zone installed, that the same cyber safety profile that you have set up will be applied when you're on vacation. So when you connect to the resort Wi-Fi network, the same filtering will be applied.
Thank you for that. Does the Family Zone equipment, is there an activity report, like a detailed activity report for the parents?
Yeah, there is, absolutely. So and in some ways it may be a little bit too detailed, but we do maintain up to 30 days of the kids' internet activity. So you can see every site, every resource that we've downloaded. We also provide a weekly summary report that shows the types of sites that they've been browsing to, how the Family Zone has protected it, as well as with the mobile zone, as well as any new apps that have been installed. And we're also providing that real-time feedback as well. So if we detect that something is amiss, we'll also notify the parent. But the parent can, through the portal or the app, look at all of the traffic for a particular family member.
Thank you very much. Next question. After the 12-month subscription is over, is it automatically renewed? Does someone have to call? How does the renewal work?
Yeah, so we have set it up. It can be either or. So at the moment, it's set to automatically renew, and it will renew for a further 12 months at the same discounted rate. Alternatively, the customer, hopefully they don't want to cancel, but those obviously can cancel after that 12 months. But we would be making contact with that customer, probably 2 to 3 months out, just to let them know, what is happening, that their 12-month subscription is coming to an end, and that we'd want them to, we're going to auto-renew them unless they tell us otherwise.
Thank you very much. Next question. Is there an option available for tracking or finding the location of your kids?
Right now, we don't have location-based tracking. It's definitely in our roadmap. And really, the three things that we're looking at doing on the location is a geofencing, so setting a boundary of what's normal. Because our mobile zone is an app that's installed on the device, we already actually asked to access the location-based services, to enable us to turn this feature on. We also want to do a Hansel and Gretel style breadcrumb to show where the kids have gone. and also create alerts if we find variations. But right now, we don't support the location tracking, if you like.
Thank you very much. Next question. Does the application itself need to access cameras, photos, and everything else that is normally asked on our mobile device?
Yeah, so not the photos, but when you install Mobile Zone, we do need to access, as I said, the location services on the phone or the tablet. We also request to access the features of the phone, such as the camera, because as a parent you can control whether those features are used. So there are certain features on the phone or tablet on the mobile device that we do need to have access to, but we don't have the ability to remote delete or access the data on the phone. It's just the features.
Thank you very much. Next question. Do you have to subscribe from cyber experts before you can ask for suggestions regarding websites that are not good for your kids?
No, there's no requirement to subscribe. There is a do-it-yourself model, and Family Zone do provide a lot of information about sites, about apps, and so there is no requirement to sign with a cyber expert. However, most cyber experts are charging $2 to $3 a month for their service, so we do find a lot of parents just opt in for that, and then they have a communication line open to those cyber experts.
Thank you very much. Next question. I know we talk a lot about mobile devices here, but someone is asking, how about on PCs?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So when you do have the access point or the home zone installed, the box itself has 4 Ethernet ports, so we do support connecting PCs via wire, but obviously also support Wi-Fi. Those devices are treated no different to a mobile device. They're assigned to a family member, and the same level of filtering is provided. If a family member on one of those on the computer or a laptop attempt to access a site that's blocked, as a parent, for example, you might have a computer set up at home that's used for homework. Once the kids have gone to bed, you might jump onto that computer and you want to access CNN or Fox or whatever you're trying to access. You can take ownership of that computer, because most likely it's been set to sleep time, so you can afford all the same features that we've talked about with mobile are also available on the computer as well.
So about a PC again, when a family is on vacation, if you have a PC with you, I mean, the support would be the same?
Yeah, so we recently released an agent actually or endpoint software that can be installed on Windows PCs, Macs, and Chromebooks. So the same filtering can now be mobile, if you like, to lack of a better word, or be on those devices. If you do take a Chromebook on vacation, which a lot of kids have Chromebooks now, because they're part of their education. The same filtering that you have at home when they're connected to your family network will be on the Chromebook as well, or on the device when they connect to third-party networks.
Thank you very much. Do you have other geotag features in addition to NTO geofencing?
Not right now, no.
Thank you very much. Is Family Zone currently at the CES trade show?
We're not presenting at CES. I am attending CES though, so yes, I guess you could say Family Zone is at CES, but we certainly don't have a booth. And if anyone is in the audience that is interested in meeting up to find out more, I'm more than happy to do that.
Thank you very much, Paul, for answering all of those questions. We greatly appreciate it, and we thank you for your time today. And if anyone has any other questions, please feel free to contact your sales rep, or you can email us at sales@microcomtech.com. If you wish to view any of the products mentioned or shown here today, please visit us at www.microcom.us. And please remember, this webinar presentation has been recorded, and it will be uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel. so you can view it again. Thank you again, everybody, for being with us today. Mr. Paul Robinson, appreciate your time and your expertise. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Julian. Thank you, everyone, for attending.